All right, we're back and we're on to section 6.3. We're going to be factoring special products. Okay. So far, hold on. Let me focus your attention here. So far, our factors have been different. So when we get our answer, it's been something like x minus 2 times 2x minus 7. They're different. All right. So crazy things happen when they're the same. So yes, now we'll look at trinomials with similar or equal factors. Okay? We're going to learn how to recognize when we have one of these situations. So, an example would be an example of a trinomial with equal or similar factors is, well, you might have guessed it, something like x plus 3 times x plus 3. Those are equal. Okay? So those are equal factors. We haven't seen something like that yet. But what about similar? Well, we have x plus 3 again. But then if I multiply it by x minus 3, I would consider these similar factors. They're not the same, but they're very, very close. Okay. So we're going to look at factoring trinomials that have these as their factors, these equal or similar factors. Okay. Also, I didn't mean to exclude this, but you can definitely have an x minus 3 times an x minus 3. So, for example, 6.23, scratch that. We're going to do example 6.24. 6.24. So let's factor 81y squared minus 72y plus 16. Now we could use the AC method on this, all right, but it's much, much easier than that, okay? So the question we're asking ourselves on these, the question we ask ourselves, and remember, this is our A, and this is our C. So we're asking ourselves, are A and C both perfect squares? So what is a perfect square? Well, a perfect square is any number with a square root. Okay, so for example, if I took the square root of 9, that would give me 3, and 3 is a whole number, so I would say 9 is a perfect square. Okay, back to the problem. So 81y squared, well, let's check. And I can actually take the square root of this entire term, and that is going to give me 9y. So 81 is a perfect square, so I can do this. How about 16? Yep, it's a 4. Okay. Notice, all right, so in mathematics, when you take the square root of a constant number, you have to take into account this plus or minus. And here's why. Here's why. If I said 4 times 4, that's just equal to 16, right? Well, what about negative 4 times negative 4? Well, isn't this equal to 16 also? So this is why we can't just say our answer is positive 4. Okay? Until we evaluate this thing further, this could be a plus or minus 4, positive or negative 4, the square root of 16. Okay? So we say plus or minus 4. You might say, why the heck didn't we do that over here? Well, here, the y sort of takes care of that plus or minus. Takes care of that plus or minus. So we're not going to worry about it. All right. So our last step is what we've been doing this whole time. It's what we've been doing this whole time. We're just going to take our 9y, throw it right there. And we're going to put it right there. So we're halfway done. Now, this last stage is just sort of guessing and checking because we don't know if we're doing a plus or a minus 4. All right? We don't know. Now, you could look back and see, oh, we need a negative middle term. So if we need a negative middle term and a positive last term, that means we need two negatives being multiplied, or excuse me. No, yeah. We need two negatives being multiplied so that we get this. So if you're smart enough to recognize that, which I'll admit I was not at first, had to check my notes. We have a 9y minus 4 times 9y minus 4. Okay. You could have asked, well, does this work? Well, let's check. 9y times 9y is 81y squared. 9y times 4, 36y. 4 times 9y, 36y, plus 16. Well, I can see right away this isn't going to work because 36y plus 36y gives me positive 72y. But you could try this one. Okay, so if we multiply this out, we get 81y squared, but then we get plus 36y and minus 36y and minus 16. Now, a whole lot of that does not match up with our original equation. Okay, these would cancel, and we'd be left with 81y squared minus 16. I'm not liking that. It doesn't add up, so we know that doesn't work. So there's only one thing left. 9y minus 4, 9y minus 4. Okay, and that, if you multiply it out, that will give you your answer.